Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Pathfinder Kingmaker. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that it chose to join me today as Nyrisa. We're in her dream, and she sees us. She knows we're here. I'm not really sure how that is, or why, or what it even means to be in her dream. Because I thought this was like watching a DVD or something, you know what I mean? Just like, hey, this is her dreams, let's just see what's up. But nope, that she's actually sleeping right now and was dreaming about the things. And that's where we are.
But you, I like you more and more, my hound. Perhaps I have no need of that stupid peacock anymore. I could let you tear him apart if you wish. I know where a tool lies that will let you clip his wings. The evidence of his crimes. Something he's been hiding from his Pitaxian allies. But he could not hide it from me. Remember this name, White Rose Abbey. That is where Iravetti would usually meet with me in the past, and the place where you will find your tool against him.
Fine, I'll go. Let's see the worth of your words.
My brave, brave hound. We will get along nicely, I dare say.
No, we won't, because you keep attacking me. And, it's a big pain in the butt. And I don't like it. And we can leave. Well, that was the dream. If I had known, I wouldn't have ended the last episode in the middle of it. Because that was almost done. Ow. Lindsay! Where did Lindsay go? Now we know everything about our enemy. Yeah. I mean, not... maybe. About her... oh, right, about Nyrisa. About her past, about the curse and the punishment she suffered. Do we actually know about the punishments she suffered? Because I don't... that was super hazy. I mean, it's enough for us to have an idea, but... it really was not meant for us to know what is going on. It was meant for us to have an idea about what is going on. Probably should talk to the storyteller before we leave. You never know. Okay. Well, let's check the kingdom, because we're gonna need to move to Pitax. I'm not really sure. Yeah, it's 5 days. That sucks. That sucks. We're gonna explore, but in 5 days we need to come back so we can do things in our kingdom management. We have a lot of new ranks, very high ranks at 10, or a couple of ranks at 10, so things are going pretty nicely. We're gonna need to bring Jethal and Octavia. Also, they're out of order. So, I don't like that they are out of order, but they are out of order. Can I change that? I don't remember... oh, yes. Nope, they are in order. Okay. So, proceed with seizing territory, increase the ranks kingdoms to a bunch of times, upgrade towns that I can't do that. It's connected to other things, and things that I don't know, because there's no, like, upgrade tree or whatnot. I wish there were. So we have an elven camp over there, and that's for Jethal. That's where we're going first. But I also want to make sure there's nothing else elsewhere. Because if there is... we never claimed this territory. It's impossible, right? Because if there is, I might want to go east instead of west. But there isn't. So we probably have access to Pitax already. Is it really faster to go through there? If you say so. Let's do this. Save the game as well, because we're not suffering through random encounters. Is that still there? No, that is a special thing. It's what that is. That was the one we evaded last episode, or a few episodes back. What is this? A bandit and a branded troll. Why? Necromancer over there. Probably want to kill the Necromancer fast. I don't want no skeletons up in here. Or blindness. They're dying a lot. Oh, did I forget this from last episode? I did. I knew I had. But it doesn't change how much damage I do. It just changes how much damage I take. Which is fine. Didn't the branded trolls require a certain type of damage to kill? I think so. I just sort of, yeah. So that was an actual random encounter. But it didn't work. It didn't let me. I think it's not the first time that that happens, where you just don't get the chance to try to evade. What else do we have? Nothing good. That was weird, because they were low level. The bandits were, anyway. Then I think the trolls were as well. I don't know why. Why anything, but anyway, moving on. Into the wood. Yeah, that's just over there. Into the, not the woods, the forest, the big forest. And we have another one over there. Oh, kingdom things. Oh yeah, that's another thing that we absolutely need to make sure is that we don't break or we don't miss the things that we're doing. Moderate Pitaxian influence. Pitaxian agitators. Oh, that one. You can click the what? Your kingdom will soon fall. To avoid that, you have to advance the main plot and complete the following quest. War of the River Kings. Yes, I am doing that. It's not soon. Look at that. It's a month. We're good. We got this. So Pitaxian agitators are trying to lure locals away from the stolen lands, promising a golden age under Irovetti's rule. Some have already left, and the rest are considering the proposal. Please do. Please get out of my face. Seriously. Why would I care? Why would I... See, I don't... It's not the first time that this happens, mind you. That other time where we were concerned about people leaving because they were not safe. And I'm like, yes, please leave. It's not like I ask taxes of you. Which... I think it's actually the case. We do ask taxes of them. Taxes? Taxes. That's the word. Okay, I need to be careful with that. We're a little bit exhausted, but we can connect over here. There's no exclamation mark over here, so we're probably going to be good there. And then we have access to this. A labyrinth of stepped rocks. The elves who arrived from Keonan seeking justice set their camp here. They did. And we are exhausted, which is a problem. So we're going to have a napsy. That's a word. Don't question me. And hear them.
If you wanted, I could lend you some of my cosmetics. The color of your skin frightens me sometimes. And not only me.
You offer me a chance to smear beetroot and ground chalk on my face? No, thank you. If I needed makeup, I'd bring a set from Keonan. My former family knows their way around eyeshadow and frankincense.
At least she didn't call it any brand name, which was about as would have been sort of expected with that whole conversation. Cosmetics? What? Like in, you know, the loot boxes in Fortnite or something? Yeah, that's not what they were called historically. Also, not how they were seen historically. I have even recently, not even like centuries in the past, even like 50 years ago, I have the impression that it was mostly about the powder. Everything else was an import. Like, I don't know. From basically, all I'm saying here is with the preamble that I don't know the history of makeup, because I believe that is the correct word, makeup, even though it is a recent word, but it doesn't matter, and I think it is connected to cinema. I don't know. I think it has to do. I think like the way I remember it, it's always referenced in passing in the books that I have read of history and all this sort of stuff, and it's usually about the powder, and people would use powder for multiple reasons. One of them would be to conceal the smell, for example, because Talc has a specific smell. It's also cancer inducing, so lovely things. But talc wouldn't always be used. Rice powder is a more common one. I think it isn't made anymore. It isn't like it's not a part of modern day cosmetics anymore. Rice powder. But I also don't know because I don't know how to use them very well or at all for the most part. I know how to apply eyeliner, so yay for that. It's the easiest one. Actually, probably just the concealer is easier. Just as long as you have the proper tools for it. Anyway, the point is, the base of it is the powder, and the origin and another hilarious, also really worrisome of her to say the color of your skin upsets me. Yes, she's obviously talking. Anyway, she's a vampire. Jeth Hollis. But that's the thing as well. The beauty of at least in Europe, and I'm talking here specifically about European history, which this game obviously is based around. The beauty associated with having a lighter skin was for multiple reasons and depends on the country and the time. But if I say the commonly understood reason of just if people have lighter skin, it means that they don't work the fields, and it sort of means that they are of a higher station than other people. That is a common understanding of how it used to work and the reasons behind people's preference for a lighter skin tone. And it's not too. I don't believe it is too wrong, but it isn't as simple as that. It's certainly not the case for every time, but certainly weird because she probably if that commentary had any pretense of being historically accurate and not just basically 21st century girl talking to another 21st century girl complaining about how ugly she looks, which another subtext altogether, but that's beside the point. If that was meant to be anywhere close to legitimate and sort of realistic in the setting, she would be like, oh, I wish I could have your skin. It is so... Because also her skin doesn't age, so, because aging is a natural... Actually, wait a minute. The aging of our skin has to do with a few things. Sunlight is the biggest issue for the skin, but the process through which the skin ages is not as simple as just drying up or anything like that. Because one of the processes of the aging of the skin is the creation of melanin, or not just melanin, but basically you get sunspots if you're staying out in the sun for too long. And even if you just see the sun for a brief moment, the skin is already doing those chemical reactions. And so that's the processes of aging. And so if you are out in the sun for too long, or not for too long, for the majority of your life, if you work the fields and stuff like that, your skin will age a lot. And that's why our butts are beautiful and pristine up until our death at the age of 80 or 90, hopefully. Because our butts don't see the sun, unless they do, in which case they will age, the skin will age. But there's another process as well, which is the sagging of the skin. Of course, that's a different thing altogether. But she said the color. Would a corpse be immune to skin aging? I wonder. Or would the skin age in a different way because of the other chemical processes? Because she's maintained by magic, I would say that she's immune to aging. So, realistically speaking, to a vampire, she probably would have to say, I wish I had a skin as ivory as yours. And that way I wouldn't need to powder myself. Because powder, again, is the basis of the makeup throughout millennia, really, and throughout the world, in fact, because I'm not familiar with how makeup or the history of makeup in Asia, but that's also a thing. But then everything comes after that, and that's what I mean, like eyeliners and lipstick, which all of that has a historical precedent to what we use these days. But even your eyebrows and stuff like that, all of that comes after the powder because of the powder. So a very simple way to have yourself have makeup would be just to powder yourself and off you go. But you wouldn't look particularly good to the eyes of a medieval person or a person from the Renaissance or whatever. So you need to, add a little bit to that and just make sure, you sort of compensate for how your features would sort of disappear behind the powder. And I don't know if this is historically accurate, but the powder is such a fundamental aspect of it, of the whole makeup, and that there are reported cases, of people, women in specific, but of course not just the women used makeup throughout ever. But women in specific, I remember reading or hearing because I studied archaeology. That's what I majored in, and I had some history classes. I had a lot of history classes, actually, and a lot of my colleagues were history majors. And I remember studying, well, many things. I don't remember where I heard this, but of people having makeup that would stay with them forever, for years and years and years, because they would never take it off, because, it's of many reasons. So they basically would have their skin caked in whatever their makeup was, and that was that. And there we go. And that is, pro tip there, that's the way you keep your skin from seeing the sun. I bet their skin was pretty good. It's like their butt. Anyway, let's continue and stop rambling about things that as I said at the beginning, I don't know. Because the history of makeup is probably understood by people who study it. And I didn't. In fact, I remember I had a one of the first classes I had of history that relates to things that are not war, which is the most fascinating part of history. It was just classical history about art and stuff. I had a colleague who asked if we were gonna study fashion. She used these words, actually in Portuguese, so not these words, but anyway, the similar words. The fashion of the Roman Empire, and my professor, and I believe misguided, now I say that as a obviously less educated person than my professor at the time and now, but still, I think misguidedly, he said, we are not going to study fashion because fashion is, what was the word that he used? Temporary, I believe. It was paramount to temporary. It basically, passing, and he sort of made a point to make sure he complained at my colleague for asking a question like that. I think it is very important to have an understanding of how people dressed in any time, in any society, because in most societies, the way we dress is a reflection of our society. Of course, he was set in his ways, and all he cared about was those statues and those paintings and whatnot. Actually, not paintings. Certainly not paintings. We don't have paintings from the Romans. But those statues, a lot of that was most of that class was just statues. It was pretty cool, but still, anyway. Also, the reason why we didn't study and don't study fashion, Roman fashion and stuff like that, is because we have very, very little knowledge about it. And so that is a very good example of what is known as historical bias, which is actually, is it historical bias? Yeah, historical bias. Yeah, that's the term. It's a misleading term, and that's why I have difficulty whenever I talk about it. It's a misleading term. It doesn't mean that you're biased toward what history teaches us, because that's certainly a bias that you can have. There's people who think like that, and the joke is that historians think like that a lot, and there are certainly historians who think like that. But I think that historians are. Studying history is the fastest way for you to realize that looking at history as an example for everything is not necessarily a good way of living life. That whole thing about history is cyclical and yeah, that's not how it works. I mean, it is, but in hindsight, it's cyclical after the fact, not before. Like, we can't look at history and see, I don't know, let's say that France was a bunch of different countries, and And now these just friends after the 14th century or 15th century, and then we look at other countries and just start looking at a pattern and just say, okay, well, in the future other countries are going to be like that. Well, not necessarily, because that's, it's cyclical in the past, but what was doesn't mean that things will be again. But anyway, the point is, historical bias means being biased towards understanding history. Based on what we have access to, which is, again, not fashion. We don't know fashion. We should know fashion. We know rambles. Colonel RPG rambles for days. About things I don't know. I'm very sorry. I wish I knew. I wish I could tell you, like, oh, go and read this book and go and learn from this person, or there's this school thingy or whatnot. But I can't. Who's this person? Grave silence follows you as you approach the elves. They do not move, staring at you and Jaethal as if they were waiting for something, or rather someone. A young dark-haired elven woman emerges from behind the crowd and greets you with a nod. At the sight of her, something almost imperceptible changes in Jaethal's eyes. It's hard not to notice their incredible similarity. My daughter, my favorite creation and most capable student. The voice of Jaethal is colorless, and her facial expression, also colorless, as we were talking, unreadable. What a pleasure it is to see you leading this band of murderers who have come for my head. Murmurs of outrage erupt in the elven crowd, but their leader remains calm. The dark eyes of the girl burn with determination, and there's a blush on her cheeks. It's amazing how such small details change her face, otherwise nearly indistinguishable from the pale, lifeless face of her mother. I thought you would know that I couldn't stay away, she says. Didn't you always teach me to be responsible for my actions and follow things through? Responsible with your actions. You're definitely responsible for your actions, as we all are. I can protect Jaethal by any means necessary. Or I can just give Jaethal to the elves. I want to say this one, though. Let's see. Listen to us before you make any hasty decisions. Jaethal is not to blame for the death of the young elves. It was Aneo, the Inquisitor of Pharasma, who had set up a trap for both us and them. Open your eyes, girl, says Jaethal. Didn't I teach you to think with your head and not to fall into traps laid by facile provocation? You might have reasoned that I have no use in killing those foolish young elves you wish to avenge. True, says Nutella. That's her daughter's name. You had no use for it. But if there were any use for you, you would have killed them without hesitation. Right, Mother? I know you better than anyone. I know how far you might go if no one stops you. Nutella pauses and then continues sternly. I persuaded the court to send you into exile. I used everything I could, friends, connections, the arts of logic and persuasion you taught me, and achieved the mildest punishment possible. It was a mistake. If I hadn't done it, our unfortunate youths would still be drawing breath. Love blinded me. You told me many times that our feelings are our worst advisors, but only now have I finally learned this lesson. It is my duty to stop you, and I will see it through. The elf turns to you. I'm sorry, Queen. I have no wish to invade your lands, but there's no other way. Give us the murderer, and we shall leave in peace. And yet I ask you to leave. So, there's no need to spill any more blood on my land. Murmurs sweep through the elven lines. It seems that some of them are less determined than the others. She says, oh no, this maid elf says, the queen of this stolen land is right. We are not some robbers to attack her companions, even in the name of justice. I don't actually know what that means. I think it means we will fight, but only against a few of them. I'm going to protect Jaethal by any means necessary. I cannot allow you to kill Jaethal, is what I meant to say. And she's gone. Goodbye. She had a purple ponytail. No, that was so bad, so good. The purple ponytail. Anyway, you leave us no choice, Queen, says Nutella. Yeah, it's no choice. Unfortunate. It's always unfortunate when an RPG doesn't have choices. Isn't it unfortunate? Also, it's unfortunate when the RPG points it out that you have no choices. Please don't do that, RPG designers. Ever, please. There's really no reason for you to do that. It's like, look at me. I'm making cuts based on development time, really, because that's RPGs that are really difficult to make. I'm making cuts, and I'm gonna point it out in the text that you have no choice. Oh, we're also losing levels. Who's losing levels? Is the enemy losing levels? I will punch you. You piece of... Oh, it's Amory. Okay, yeah, you keep at it. Okay, fireballs. That's what is up. It's that elf, isn't it? -4 levels. Jesus. Seriously, that is horrible. Horrible. Oh, there's more of them. Evocation, -4 levels. Is the AI on? Okay. What is that? That's another elf. For all I know, it's another spellcaster. Oh, I mean, it is obviously another spellcaster. The point is, for all I know, it's another negative levels thing. They're not attacking. Their artificial intelligence died or something. Okay, I deserve to not have to suffer because the artificial intelligence is already making me suffer. That's the difficulty of the game. I don't understand what's going on. We're definitely slowed. So there's a bard in here somewhere. But the game that tells me everything every time about what enemies are and whatnot is not telling me which one of these is a bard. I think it's that one. I shot the wrong one first. Okay, that's a good opportunity for me to go with a controlled fireball up in here. You're taking a lot of damage, but hopefully things will turn out okay. We have a lot of damage there. Let's go with another controlled fireball up in here. Oh, we didn't need that. Did we do it? Huh, that was an easy fight. That slow is just ridiculous. Like, we did it. That's all that matters. The slow is because we have weeds and whatnot. So she died? Or is she still alive? Jethal approaches the fallen Nutella and freezes like a statue. The scene from the elven camp at the Thorn River repeats itself once again, but now instead of some unknown elven girl, her own daughter lies at the Inquisitor's feet, and she seems still alive. I hear you, Jethal speaks under her breath, and you realize that she is talking neither to her daughter nor to you nor anyone else. For a moment, you are filled with the strange sensation of someone else's presence. So she is talking to somebody else. Someone evil, but somehow jubilant. Because, of course, evil people cannot be jubilant. And then the feeling fades. Jethal's eyes grow clear. Yes, mistress. I am ready. Jethal turns to you, her eyes glowing with a cold flame. Urgathoa wants me to choose one of the two paths of faith. I can use the Neka's ritual to regain a living body, with all the pleasures that it offers. The children I can then bear will be the source of my immortality. I will become... That's not what immortality is, Jethal. I mean, in a way, it sort of is, but you can also make a statue. That lasts longer than children. Anyway, I have... Unless you make a statue out of, like, cake. But that is also good. Please make cake rather than children. That's a good moral for life. I will become... She says, I will become an eternal spirit, changing temporary vessels, and even the ages-long lifespan of the elves will be to me as a season. That's what the children is? You're just going to inhabit your children? And also, what do you mean I will become an eternal spirit? I thought we already were an eternal spirit. Do you mean you will die? Is that what you mean? Because right now you're a mortal person and then you're going to become a... No, you're not actually a mortal person. She's an immortal. She said she keeps referring to, oh, you mortals and your cake. Anyway, she says, there is another way. I will remain undead, eternal, unchanging, and impeccable. In exchange for my final sacrifice, Urgathoa will grant me new power, a perfect spirit or perfect undead. Either way, I shall be her follower, her perfect follower. All that my goddess requires of me is the life of my daughter, here and now. Nutella is barely able to move her lips. A fine choice, she says. I always knew that Urgathoa would someday demand it from you. My life. But the narrator doesn't say if she actually feels this or not. Taneka's ritual, what will happen if you use it? Rebirth, she says. Jethal does. In a way. The power of the blood bond is great. Urgathoa will extract my spirit from this dead body and move it to a new living one, which I once gave birth to. A body you once gave birth to? Nutella repeats quietly. I was prepared to kill you. I was prepared for you to kill me, but I never imagined that I would be no more than a vessel. No mere vessel, child. A priceless gift, Jethal speaks with a face of stone. Well, I don't need to tell her to stop. I think I can just make the decision for her, because she clearly is telling me to make the decision. She said I have two options. And now is the option that I was clamoring for before, by the way. So, life is full of feeling and pleasure, which cannot be tasted by the undead. Yeah, apparently not. In the sense that we're talking about sex, really, here. That's all. That's what it is. I mean, maybe eating cakes as well, but it's sex. She wants to get it on, and I mean, maybe she does, or maybe she doesn't. She certainly doesn't act like it. But anyway, take the body of your dog. That is okay. It's a good thing that they are not explicit with this whole thing about pleasure and feeling, but and he continues that line. And be reunited with your desires through your daughter's bits. Sure. We're not doing that. She's staying an undead because I'm afraid of losing her character build. Mostly. Also because why would you want to be an immortal spirit? Also, what is the difference? Let's not get into that, please. I don't want to have to ramble about how this game treats its own canon and lore. Unlife has provided you with new powers and placed you above the laws of nature. Also, you're apparently impeccable, which is not... I think she just means that she's stain resistant or something. Her clothing doesn't get dirty. Sacrifice your daughter as Urgathoa wishes, but remain what you are. Sure. So let it be, she says. The one born of me shall be destroyed of me. There's always a way out, says Jethal, as if continuing an old argument. But not for you, Nutella. She had to go with a nickname, didn't she? Octavia says, I hope you know what you're doing, Gilladel, but I just can't watch. Why would you watch? My God. Go away. So I'm not going to watch. She's going to do it right now? Anyway, betrayal from your own mother. Death at her hands. No one deserves such a fate. Nutella's eyes widen, but she doesn't utter a sound. She's either too exhausted or too proud to ask for mercy. I thought she was dead before, but by the way, so it's not like this changes much in the sense that, we didn't lose anything. It's not... The progress here is, we see Nutella, and she's like, oh, maybe I'm gonna kill you, and I'm like, no, don't kill, and then she says, okay, I'm gonna kill you, and then the hope is like, okay, well, you're dead, I suppose, and then all of a sudden, oh no, she's alive, oh no, she's dead. So you see the back and forth, that's irrelevant, that back and forth, no, she was already here, so, yeah. For a moment, Jethal freezes in a strained pose, as if gathering her strength. Let this be my new beginning. Urgathoa, accept this sacrifice. And we are gonna see this. Privacy. We could just, a little bit, also avoid all that gross blood spatters on me. You can be stain resistant, but I'm not. These silks are expensive, and it's not me who picks the fields and does all the silk work and all that. It's somebody else. Look at the ghosts. Not ghosts. Did we kill? We killed all the elves. We came in here, killed all the elves, killed killed Jathal's daughter. That's just how it goes. I wonder what kind of character growth she's not gonna get. I wish the character quests were just basically a dungeon, because that is better, honestly, than moving around and just doing a bunch of things. We also all leveled up, which is beautiful, and I love it. But yeah. Greater extend meta magic rod. Please do extend my meta magic rod. What was it called? Why is it? Oh, right. Extend meta magic. That's what it is, not extend rod. Wand of pernicious poison. Got a lot of things in here. We have another one of the magical lanterns. Nice. I can add it to other people. The Quest Electri. 0 charges. Good job, game. It's not the first time that happens. I'm not really sure why it does. But it does. And, what this means, as well, is that we have 2 days. 2 days. So you can see over here, the belt... Oh. No. Where is it? Was it a magical thing? Or a quest thing? My voice broke. By the way, quest... Date from newest to oldest, but it's not here. What did I just do? I'm very smart. Do you realize what I just did? I'm super smart. Oh my god, I did the opposite. I, instead of, taking the loot, I left the loot. And, yeah, so... What did we get? Longsword +2. I am so good. So good. Heavy shield, breastplate +3. Yes. I was like... The thing that made me realize... Also the fact that, you know... The fact that we didn't have the lantern was the thing. But the thing that made me realize is that we didn't have anything in the usables. And I was like, that doesn't sound right. Long blow +2. Some good things. We got a rapier. I mean, some nice things for sure. What is that? What's that? Mighty Constitution +2. That is not nice. That is worse. Light crossbow. I still have animals around here making noises. We got a curved blade, which is an actual type of weapon. Elven curved blade, sorry. Not just curved blade. That would be a scimitar. Which is basically what it is. Padded armor, and we have incredible dexterity +2. It just gives you +1, basically. Dexterity bonus on your checks. And not just on... yeah, on all your checks. You just get a +1 dexterity bonus on checks. Which is fine, I suppose. It's actually +1 to your dexterity modifier. Because it's not just for dexterity checks. It's for other things that are based around dexterity. But we're out of time for the day. So we're going to level up in the next episode. And also take care of the kingdom and a bunch of other stuff. For right now, though, I'm Colonel RPG. And this has been Pathfinder Kingmaker. I really hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.